two topics today, both of which were not in the book, so they're part of the extra material.
Okay.
First one is on cell communication,
Okay.
talking to your cells, the cells in your body.
Oh, cell communication. Like
Yes,
our does it have anything to do with our DNA?
yes, that's part of it.
Hmm.
We'll get to
That
that.
was that I did very well on my NLNs in the nation for that because I really liked that subject.
Good.
I got second in the nation
Hmm.
and raised the accreditation for my school. I liked studying DNA a lot. Okay. And OBGYN, that was my favorite. I wanted to be an OBGYN doctor. I wanted to deliver babies. I worked at UCI and did help deliver babies, but I never finished because my husband got very sick, and I had to start taking care of him. And all our money went out the window that I was going to pay for going to Guadalajara to finish up and couldn't go. Okay, so
So
here we
talking to
go.
your cells. So they have communication, and the cells are guided in their activity by your subconscious and your inner being. So
Ooh.
that's the intelligence that they have. So communication is a two-way street. So
Mhm.
as talking to yourselves, listen to them, ask them, ask them what they want, and
They want the right kind of food.
yeah, and
Yes, yes.
maybe saying no to some medicine or something that you're trying to give them. So I'll tell you a story that ex exemplified that for me is that I had this friend who over lunch, we were having lunch together, a woman, and
Mhm.
her menstrual flow was having a problem in that it had not stopped for 2 weeks, and she was going to go to the doctor. She was going to go check herself into the emergency room at the hospital and to have it checked out. And I said,
Mhm.
before you do that, why don't we have a little session? So in this session, I hypnotized her and
Mhm.
had her ask her cells what they needed, what was going on. And when she came out of hypnosis, she said, the message I got was find yourself an herbal doctor. And because the Western medicine has no answers for you. And she said, I have no idea where that came from because herbal is not a word I know. What does it mean?
Mhm.
That was very interesting, I thought. And so she did. So she went and got a Chinese
I would
medicine.
call that Eastern medicine.
Yeah, right. To help.
Eastern and Western, yes. I like Eastern medicine. I've been
So,
putting those things on the bottom of my feet too. The little pad. Okay.
right. So when you talk to your cells, well, you're communicating with them all the time,
Mhm.
giving them messages by what you're doing and how you're thinking. And so you come with a fixed set of DNA, but there's a whole lot of stuff in our DNA chain that is not genes, that is not genetic material. And for a while they called this junk DNA, but they found out that what it is switches. So they're called the epigenetic, which is beyond genetics switches. And these switches, think of we've got some genes here, and then we've got a bunch of switches that turn the genes on and off. So just because you have a gene doesn't mean that it's switched on and it's going to have an effect. It could be switched off. And
Mhm.
you do, emotions that you have, foods that you eat, your environment, your thoughts actually toggle these epigenetic switches. And so that's when it comes to the question then of, is your blueprint, is it nature or is it nurture? Is it your environment or what you're born with? And the answer is it's both,
Both.
because the DNA is what you're born with, and the epigenetic switches are what you play with by your environment
Environment.
and your food.
Absolutely, absolutely agree with that.
So,
Environment and the people that have been your mentors as you're growing up are very important.
yeah.
Yes. That's
So,
why our child care is one of the most important things we can do. You know, in our in our how do you say it? In our society, we must provide proper child care and proper environment, or we will have problems later if we don't in education. Okay, what about how does that work where with the cells and the DNA that they say that if we alter those cells, you know, they're trying to alter cells that cause certain kind of illnesses, right? But
yes.
also certain kinds of mental illnesses that cause us to some people to become criminals and be, you know, actually kill people or go to jail. They think they can alter those through changing the DNA.
Yeah. Through CRISPR.
Book
And I
about
know
that.
the Holy Spirit is supposed to change the DNA. It's the only thing that was supposed to. When the Holy Spirit came, God didn't have to destroy the bad DNA or the bad seed, because the Holy Spirit was given the ability to change your bad DNA, the DNA that would make you a bad person. That was sort of, I really got that message when I was studying. I was in a 6-year Bible study when I was a young nurse, and Genesis really bothered me because of he was very he just destroyed the whole city because of people that were very bad, and so that's how it was explained to people, and people didn't know what DNA was then. We had not yet had been, it was just being discovered, you know, what it was,
Mhm.
the chain. So, but I knew it was something that was causing it that's inside of you. So if you could change that, that would be very wonderful for a lot of people. They wouldn't have to have such a destructive life. You know.
And so hypnosis allows you to change the epigenetic switches. Probably doesn't permanently change the DNA, but it changes the effects
Of the
by
switches.
flipping it on and off. So
Hmm.
let me tell you one of very interesting. So
Mhm.
when I first was introduced to hypnosis, uh, I did some self-hypnosis that enabled me to get beyond my neuropathy that I had at the time. And so I was very interested in being scientifically oriented about what was really going on. So I did a lot of studying about medical hypnosis and its effects. And one that I found that was really interesting was that in a surgeon had a number of patients over the years, and what he would experiment by telling them something, and he would try one thing that didn't work very well. But one thing that worked very well is he told his patients to tell your blood to move away from the surgery site.
Ooh.
And so those, hello, Virginia. So those patients that did that had 50% less bleeding than usual, than the normal patients.
Wow.
And it's interesting because he didn't tell them how to do it, and they didn't know how to do it except just, whatever they told their blood cells uh, had the effect, uh, which was pretty amazing, just that. So that's one example. Um, I have a daughter who had a pain in her hip that for a long time that was uncomfortable and preventing her from sleeping well. She went to several doctors and they didn't have any solution. They said it was probably a pinched nerve. So she decided to just give it the commands, talk to the cells. And so every day she would say something like, uh, nerve cell, move around, get yourself comfortable. If you're pinched somewhere, then just change, move, whatever's going on down there. I need to be comfortable because I need to work and sleep. And she said that every day. And then after a while, she noticed, hey, it doesn't hurt anymore. And she had stopped noticing it and suddenly realized it was gone. And Wayne Dyer, that you may have heard of, a famous spiritual writer, has two daughters. One of them's name is Sage, Sage. And when she was a little girl, she had pimples, probably acne, and she wanted her father to do something about them. And so he told her, talk to your pimples, your bumps. And so he remembers that she was under the sheet with a flashlight, talking to her bumps, telling them to go away. And they did. And so there's now a book, if you want a children's book, which is Bumps Be Gone by Sage Dyer, that tells the story of how she talked to her cells and did that. So talking to your cells is very effective.
I've got a couple of issues. I'm going to try that on. Does it work on wrinkles?
It might. I haven't tried it.
Yeah, that's funny. But I think that's actually I really do you ever, when you're not feeling well, do you listen to the little voice that tells you what you need to do about it?
Of course.
Because there is that little voice that tells you, well, you need to go have some a baked potato. That's what you need, a nice baked potato, or you need this, or you need that, or what about some nice cream of basil tomato soup? It's like something telling me that I should go eat something to feel better. And I maybe should do certain other things to make sure I'm all right. Like take a baby aspirin, and because I'm having a pain I shouldn't be having. And it might be a blood clot.
That voice inside, of course, is your inner spirit, your God connection.
Yeah.
I had an interesting one yesterday. I found a little packet of cheese in our refrigerator that came from one of our trips, I'm sure. I don't remember which one, whatever. And it had a date on it that I didn't recognize. It said 2, there was a 2, and then there was a 10. And I said, I don't know what this is, but it said French, some kind of fresh French cheese. I opened it up and it didn't fill the container. It was about half filled, and it was looked kind of watery, like something had happened to it. And I said, well, that's probably going to be okay. But something said, no, don't. Really strongly was saying that to me. So I did wrap it up and put it in. So yes.
Good, Megan. Good job.
Yeah. Well, you got a refrigerator like mine. My granddaughter comes every so often and says, Grandma, do you realize how old some of this stuff in here is? So she cleans my refrigerator out sometimes when she comes. Gets rid of it all. And I say, okay. But I know it's really is strange when I'm shopping too. Oh, and beets. I love red beets. And I have discovered you don't really even have to cook the beets. You can buy them in a can of whole small red beets. And I keep them chilled in the refrigerator. And they give me energy and oxygenate my blood. It's amazing. Now I know why our family had eaten so much got so many beets when I was younger. I used to hate red beets. So I noticed the older people were always eating them. So now I keep them chilled. And my son, he's not, he told me the other day, put some more of those red beets out. He said they made me feel better when I ate them. And I said, yeah, did you feel like you had more oxygen and like you were a little bit more peppy? And he said, yes. And I said, that's your oxygen is your veins. It opens up and lets your oxygen get to your heart and your brain and whatever. But I know it oxygenates you. So I thought I'd tell you guys, if you're not using the red beets, and that's a simple way, is opening the can. And I keep them on that little ice cream container that has a screw-on lid that's very expensive, and I wash them out. You put the whole can in there, and it chills them real cold. And you just eat them. I throw them in the salads, and I keep them in the refrigerator. So if you want to keep a couple of bites when you're not feeling so like you're getting tired, and you want to make it through the day, you have a few more bites of beet. Yeah, it works. I don't know, but are there other foods that you find that helps you along or helps your cells? We should talk to our cells and
Yes.
find out, and then maybe they'll tell us what they want. But I know mine like avocado.
Ask them. Yes. Ask them what makes them feel great.
Yeah,
What
and
you-
my sister has a problem. She doesn't like vegetables. My
Oh.
older sister. It's not a good problem because I know the cells like vegetables. So
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. The second new topic for today is auto suggestion. Auto suggestion is just a fancy name for self-hypnosis. Maybe a less threatening name, since some people don't like the idea of hypnosis. But that's what it is. So it's basically using the techniques of hypnosis, which are basically relaxation so that you get into what's called a theta brain state, which is just relaxed. The brain waves are lower frequency, slower, and it makes it easy to distract your conscious mind so you can get to your subconscious mind, which is where you want to put the instructions, or that's where the habits reside. That's where your automatic reactions reside that you might want to change. So that's that's all hypnosis is. So we already go into that state twice a day when we are falling asleep and when we first wake up. So when we're sleeping, our brain frequency is around 4 cycles a second. And when we're highly active, it's around 20 to 40 cycles a second. And so this theta state is slowed down, and it's somewhere between the 4 and the 20. It's usually around 5 or 6 or 7, 8. It just depends on how deep you're going. So that's what that is. And so auto-suggestion is doing that yourself and then giving yourself the suggestions you want to sink in. So hypnosis just gives you that opportunity at some other time besides when you're falling asleep or waking up. So when I do hypnosis with anybody, I always give them, I help them formulate some affirmations, some statements that reinforce what they're trying to accomplish, and the assignment to say them as they're falling asleep and as they're waking up in the morning. So that's the two perfect times to do this. So if you start by practicing your auto suggestion at those two times, it makes it easier. So what I've talked about with the bumps and with the hip pain, though it like with my neuropathy, those were all forms of auto suggestion. Another one that's worked great for me is that if you read the book, I think the story is in there, but I'll repeat it here. I discovered, or the doctor discovered, that I had uh, a heart murmur, and the heart murmur was the result of a valve which was distorted and not closing properly, a heart valve, mitral valve, and that was causing some turbulence. And so the turbulence was the spinning of the blood, because instead of flowing out through the pump, some was leaking out and swirling around. So the first heart doctor said, "Oh, this is really serious. We need to either do some surgery to repair the valve or replace it with a pig valve." And that didn't sound too good to me. So I said, "What can we do instead of that? And or what happens if I don't do that?" He said, "Well, your heart will get larger, because to make up for the loss of efficiency, it'll get bigger to make up for that. And eventually it'll get so big that there won't be any possibility of repair in the future." So I decided I'm gonna find me another heart doctor. So I did. I found another heart doctor, and I explained to him the story, and that I wanted to wait and see. We could measure. We had the examinations with the measurements of the heart and everything from the previous doctor. We could, go a year. He agreed we could go a year and then have another heart echogram to measure its size and flow and everything, and see how we're doing. So he agreed to that, and that was my plan. But my plan was to fix it between now and then. So I started talking to my heart, telling its valve to straighten itself out and close better, and for the leakage to be less, and the heart not to grow in size, and for it. And I told the doctor that's what was going to happen. He said, "That's impossible, but that's okay. That's okay." So I told my heart, that's what you do. It doesn't matter that the doctor says it's impossible. So the next year we measured it. He measured it, and he said it hadn't changed. I really think he couldn't admit that it had. But anyway, we've gone on now. We've done this for 6 years, and the diagnosis is now less. It's leaking less, and it's less serious, and so it has improved, even though that's impossible. So that's part of what talking to yourselves is about. Just tell them to get better. Do what it takes. Virginia.
So, Duncan, when you talked to your heart, did you do it every morning and every night?
I
Did you?
do it when I remember about it.
I'm sorry?
I do it when I think about it, when I remember about it.
Okay.
I mean, we've got plenty of time. It's not taking that much. Well, anyway, what I did the first year was I did do it every day. And I told people about it, which was part of my conviction, my expectation, conviction, is that I'm telling people this is what the doctor's going to find. And so that was part of it as well. But I don't do it very often now, because I know it's continuing. It's just happening. It's part of the way things are.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there's many other things like that too, that can be done. So I have I have a place where people can go get one of an auto suggestion process to use, a multi-purpose one. So it's one where you can plug in what you want and use it.
Oh, you mean like a script?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
yes. But it's more than a script. So I'll tell you what it is. So first, it's a little ebook that explains about the subconscious and about ourselves and habits and things like that. Uh, you're familiar with it because you've read my book. So it basically talks about how your mind is like a program, an app, and your operating system is your subconscious, and that's where your habits are. And you can make an operating system upgrade by getting to your subconscious and reprogramming it. And that's what hypnosis allows you to do. And so it works, of course, best if you know what you want to do. And so this particular process, I use, it's a process of going into your control center because you have a control for everything, and finding the control for what it is that you're particularly interested in and turning that control up. It's sort of like a thermostat. If you want it cooler, if you want it warmer, you turn the thermostat up, and then the heater automatically comes on at the right time and maintains that temperature. So I call that an autostat. Thermostat is thermo because it deals with temperature, but there's plenty of autostats that regulate various things. You've got a pressure regulator, water pressure regulator that works similarly for water pressure, and your body is filled with these that maintain your blood pressure and your pulse, your heart rate. I mean, your breathing rate, your respiration, your body temperature, as well as your digestion, your immune system, all kind of controls. So you decide ahead of time what control you're going to adjust and how much you want to adjust it, and then you go into your control center and make that adjustment. So there's a book, there's a little ebook that explains that. Then there is the form that you do the rehearsal on. So you can print that out. The form has a gauge, a dial, and a control knob, and it tells you how to use that. And then you have a place to write your affirmations about what your life will be like after you make this adjustment. So you get to practice. There's some rules about how to do it. You write them down. All right, so that's your rehearsal, just like an astronaut rehearses the moon landing long before they get there. You're going to rehearse what it'll be like when you go into this self-hypnosis state. And then I have recorded a hypnosis script for you to follow, where I just say multiple times that you're going to turn up blank. And every place I have blank, you substitute whatever it is that you're adjusting. So it's sort of a general purpose, and you can fill in the blank with what you want to change. Okay?
Okay.
Your assignment is to go do that. Decide what it is that you want to turn up. And you can always find something to turn up, even if it's something you want to turn down, because it works much better if you are increasing something, because you're going up the emotional scale, and thinking the positive stuff that carries you up works much better than trying to get rid of something that you don't want, because you keep focusing on the stuff you don't want. and that brings more of that. So whatever you're thinking, you get more of. That's the law of attraction. So you want to think of what you want, not what you don't want. So, for example, if I'm coaching a person to stop smoking, I don't want them to make an affirmation about I don't smoke anymore, or I've stopped smoking, or whatever. You don't want those words. It's now that you breathe easily and your lungs are clear and your teeth and smile taste good and our teeth are bright. You want the positive things that you're going to get out of it. So it's always, so this is a increase anything is the name of the process. So it's, you find what you want to increase, even if it's, think of the positive of the negative that you want to get rid of. If it's something you want to get rid of, instead of thinking of the pain, think about how good you're going to feel, how comfortable you will be, the positive. Okay. All right. So here's where it is. The website is free, FREE, dot DuncanTooley.com.
Mhm.
And when you go there, you'll see that there are a number of self-empowerment tools for you to use. One of them is called Increase Anything. And under the Increase Anything, there are 3 items that if you click on, will download. The first one is the ebook that explains how it works. It's not very long. I don't know, 20 pages or something.
Mhm.
And then there is the form. It's called My Control Chart. And then there is the audio, which is the hypnosis session for you to relax and listen to and substitute your thing that you want to turn up.
So ebook, form, and audio. And where was that on your site again? Is it on, you pull them down from what part? It's freeDuncanTooley.com. And you want to go to the Increase Anything? Is that what you said?
Yes. So
And
it's free dot. There's a dot.
yes, free dot or period dot. Yeah, free dot
Duncan Tooley.
dot com.
Right.
Okay.
And so when you go there, just scroll down and you'll see that there's, I don't know, 6, 8, 10 something things there. And that's one of them.
Increase Anything.
Yes.
Okay. And then you'll have, and under that, you're going to have an ebook to print out, a form to print out, and an audio
Yes. Right.
to help you to relax, so you can get into your auto suggestion.
Right. Right. And so, of course, when you click on the audio, it's going to start playing, but you can download it as well.
Okay. How do you download an oh
I
okay.
think it's a right mouse click or something like that.
You.
I think I can try it and see. I think that's what it is. A mouse click gives you the option to download.
Okay. I'm definitely going to have to get my computer battery replaced so I can use my computer again. I'm on my iPhone.
You can do all of this on your phone as well.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. The form's it's a little hard to fill out a form on the computers. So
Oh,
you
no. But I like to print out forms. I print it to I have an excellent printer and my iPhone likes it. So I can print out about
print out the form. You can read the ebook and listen to the audio on the phone. You don't have to download them.
Just read the audio on the phone and print out the ebook and the form and you've got it done.
Right. You don't even have to print out the ebook. You can actually
Read
the ebook on your phone
and put it into a folder. Yeah. I think so. I'm not that good. Good.
know,
I'm trying.
You can probably read it right from there.
Mhm.
You click on it, you probably can. It's
Yeah.
just a PDF.
Well, I think that sounds wonderful.
So
I know when I had you, remember I had you help, I remember when you hypnotized my son, and he could not do a contractor's license for electrical, and he has a brain issue. There's problems. Well, first time didn't do so good on his test, but the second time we went to you before he went to the test, and he passed. And that was a significant test. He couldn't pass. He could do all the electrical. He couldn't pass the legal, and retained enough that he passed it. And the
Yeah.
same thing with me. I I am much more joyous. I don't do a lot of crying. People have even noticed I don't cry very often. And I used to say, what the heck? I'm crying all the time, but I don't do that anymore. And I'm finding a lot of joy. So it did work.
So what, you were hypnotized to find
Yes. Yeah. Uh, Duncan actually hypnotized me. I was going through a very bad time in my life, and I was constantly crying. I was just not happy. And he helped me to start looking for the joy. And he also had a little saying on his card: every little cell in my body is calm, confident, happy, and well. And when I say that, it actually works. I am happy, confident, and well. So I just want to say, so I used to keep the card up on my refrigerator or wherever it was that I could see it, because I was going through a lot of problems. A son, that could get violent and hurt me. Um, just a lot of things. And my second husband, which I adored, all kinds of things. You have life's problems. What can I tell you? Right?
Uh-huh.
And so, and I have found, and when I'm just sitting here thinking, how can I apply this with my son? Because I'm thinking that if you can audio suggest and change your cells, and you can turn on some switches, why can't you turn off the bad switches that people have that have, um, say, an addiction, uh, and say maybe up to alcohol, or to a drug, or maybe why can't they turn off those switches by using this? And then what about the people who have a DNA that could cause them to be a criminal, to be a dangerous person? Perhaps if you could get into their switches and in their DNA, and either turn off some of those switches, or turn on some better ones.
So
Well,
let me
it's
so let me answer your question.
Mm-hmm.
The answer is they can,
But
but
you can't.
you can't do it to or for them.
Mm-hmm.
They have to want to. But if they want to, they can. And so, helping people with addictions, hypnosis is great for that. Smoking is one of the addictions, and that's
Mhm.
easy to do when people want to change anything. So basically, hypnosis really taps into I now understand much better what it does. It taps into your spiritual side. It taps into the power of the divine, which is running your cells. And so,
Mhm.
you talk about the Holy Spirit makes the changes. Well, basically, hypnosis is, okay, Holy Spirit, this is what we need to change. Come on, help me change this. That's pretty much what that is.
Yeah, so you're right. Yeah, I do agree with that.
And so one of the things that I do when I hypnotize people is I ask my inner spirit to connect with their inner spirit and lead me to make the right suggestions
Mm.
that will work for them.
I have a feeling you've helped a lot of people, Duncan. That's very good. Um, I would just, what I have seen, there's something, I don't know if I should even bring this up. But I have seen the devil in people, in their eyes. I worked at Metropolitan State Hospital when I was a young nurse too, but I've actually seen it where a person can be taken over by an evil spirit. And I've been in conflict with that person. And I don't know what do you do to try to get rid? Can you do anything? All I can do is that I can ask for protection from that evil spirit. And I think I get protected.
Right.
But
That's
can
what you
get
do.
that person that's being taken over by that spirit, can we get them to want to get rid of that spirit?
Uh,
Can we get them to get rid of it?
you can have influence. So your joy, your presence, your love can influence them, but it can't make them decide to choose.
Mhm.
That's it.
But can you somehow, can you say to them, you have the power to get rid of that out of your life? You have that power. Or somehow
True.
that's what I think they need. Like you're saying, if they could understand this concept and use it and know that they were going to have, like you say, the positive things of happiness and having other people want to be around them, and just all the other things that come along with getting rid of that part of you that's not good.
So
It would be a help to I think this would be a great mental health thing. Oh my goodness. I
yeah,
think rather than just therapy and going and talking to somebody, really get down to the nitty gritty of the problem, it's starting to make me really think you should start your own therapies for people. I really think that, I'm talking helping other people, therapists out there, because my son has been to many, and some of them are good and some of them aren't. But this concept to me seems like it would work better than just about any other kind of therapy that would help them with so many problems.
You're trying,
Like even eating too much, whether, I'm talking about any of these problems that we have. And like, what happened with the one with the bleeding, by the way? Did she get better? Did we talk about that? I think you said it, she did, or something. She was gonna,
yes.
yes, okay.
So
So you can actually fix a physical problem, like you did with your heart. That
yes,
I really like that concept, and I think it's.
you think I should get into the business of being a
Oh,
therapist?
I'm sorry. Okay.
If you
What?
think I get into the business of being a therapist, I'll let you know I've done that for 18 years. I'm a
Well, I don't mean that. I mean maybe pass that on or teach it. Teach it. I guess that's what you need to do, and I think that's what you're kind of doing. I'm learning. I'm liking it.
That's what I'm trying. That's what I'm doing. That's what
Yes,
that's
but you're doing it.
that's what the book is about. Yes,
Yes.
that's what this living is about. Okay, uh, Virginia, you have. Oh, Blanca, hi there. I just saw your name, so I know you're here. I didn't see you before.
Hi, Bianca.
Yeah. So, anybody
Hello.
have anything else on this topic um, about how about auto suggestion? Blanca, you heard me talk about where the exercise
Yes,
was.
yes. That's why I commented. Thank you for these tools.
Okay, good. All right. So there's more there too. Feel free to experiment. They're free.
Oh, well, thank you. I won't be there next Wednesday, but I would have loved to have heard how. Now our homework is to go in there and do this.
Yes, go do it.
Yes.